In this video, I'm going to give you a brief overview and demonstration of a couple of roulette strategies. One is the Martingale, and the second one is the Dalembert strategy. So those are two main strategies that you may or may not have heard of, and I'll show you how they work. Now, these strategies aim to recover losses. So I'll start with the Martingale, which is very simple. What you do is you bet on something. For instance, I'll bet on red with the smallest bet possible. Let me undo that. 10 cents. And let's see if I win or lose. In this case, I won, so I continue to bet that same amount. So I'll just repeat that bet over here. So now I've lost that bet, right? I bet on red and black came up, so I lost 10 cents. The recovery happens with the Martingale by doubling, because remember, you win twice, right? You win twice whatever you bet. Your winnings are twice. So by doubling this bet, if I win this bet, I will win 40 cents, which will replace the 10 cents that I just lost. And it will also replace the 20 cents that I'm wagering right now, which is 30 cents, right? And so I will have 10 cents left over for my own profit. So you'll have 1 unit of profit left. 1 unit, meaning in this case, 10 cents. So let's see what happens. So I've lost again, right? And I'm going to rebet, but actually I need to double it. With the Martingale, I'm going to double this, keep doubling the number. And let's see if I win the 40 cents bet. And yes, I have, in fact, won the 40 cents bet, which means I made back all of my money. I should have paid attention to the balance. It was $39.10 before I started. Actually, it was $39. I won 10 cents on the first one. And then after losing those other spins, I recovered and made 10 cents. So now I'm at $39.20. So the danger, however, of this Martingale is that if you have experience with betting roulette, you probably know that you can get a lot of red and a lot of black consecutively, right? It can happen. And so if you keep, if that happens, you will keep doubling, and eventually the bet size will become too large. It will be more than you can afford to bet. And so that is the problem with the Martingale strategy. That is why a lot of these strategies are better for the short term. Now, there is another strategy which I use that is much better for more long-term betting, and that is the Dalembert strategy. So this one is different because we're going to bet, as usual. I bet on a particular item, in this case red, and then if I lose, I'm going to add 10 cents on. So whatever I first bet, even if you're working in dollars, right? Like if you're doing $1, then you would bet $2, right? You're going to keep adding on the units. So first of all, let me bet 10 cents red and see what happens. And there you go. I won. So I will just continue betting. Okay. There's one other part to the strategy. Well, two other things that I'll get into, but I just want you to see how it basically works first. So, okay. So I've won again. So I actually need to lose in order to demonstrate what happens next. So now I've bet 10 cents. Now I've lost. Okay, I lost. So now I need to add another unit or add 10 cents and bet 20 cents on red. I lost again. I'm going to rebet, add another 10 cents. All right, that's Dalembert. You just keep adding on. All right. Now, this particular game I'm playing does have these bonuses which have nothing to do with the strategy. I'll just let that play out. And by the way, if you want to know what casino I'm I'm using, the casino I'm actually playing, just see the description of the video, and I should have a link down there if you want to go on. You might already be signed up if you are a player, but you can check the link if you're interested in signing up. So now, that was a bonus, and I don't think I got anything out of that. So bit of a distraction, but okay. So I'm at 30 cents. If I just lost, then I need to add another unit, another 10 cents. So now that's 40 cents, and now I'll bet again. Okay. So I won by betting 40 cents. So what happens when you win is you do the opposite of what you do when you lose. So I just betted 40 cents. So I will take one chip off the top. So I'll have to do this again. And I will now bet 30 cents on red. But it lost, right? I went down to 30 cents, but I lost. So now I need to go back up again and add 10 cents. So when you lose, you add on and bet more. And when you win, you subtract and bet less, right? Now I've lost again. So now I need to add on again. Now, okay, so that's the basic principle. And I just won at 50 cents. Right? I just won while betting 50 cents. Now, so let me explain, and I'm back to, right at this moment, I'm back on $39. Let me just keep that chip there as a reminder of what just happened. So, now the thing is that with this strategy, you don't just keep going in circles, right? Going up and down, betting higher and lower. There's actually a goal that you are trying to reach. And I purposely left that part out because I wanted to explain the basic principle. First of all, when you lose, you add another unit, right? Another coin. And when you win, you subtract, right? You go backwards and you subtract a unit. You subtract a coin. In this case, that's 10 cents, right? Okay, that's one. But the second part is that you have a goal. Now, the goal is going to be a certain number of units. For instance, my goal right now might just be a small goal of 1 unit, which is 10 cents, right? In this case, so just 1 coin. So that means all I want to do is get this $39 to become $39.10. And that may have happened already, but I wasn't paying attention to that part as yet. Now, I just won on red over here, right? 50 cents on red. So I need to go back and I need to bet 40 cents on red. I need to go a step back. But actually, right, normally I'd go a step back. But my goal is $39.10, right? I'm just trying to make 10 cents. That's it. Which is not, I obviously I know that you'd be trying to do more. But this is how the strategy works. You're just trying to make 1 unit of profit, okay? So there's no point in me betting the 40 cents. So what you do is you modify that and make it 10 cents. All right? You make it 10 cents because that's what you're trying to do, is make 10 cents. And if you bet 10 cents, you win 20. 20 minus 10 is 10. Your profit is 10, right? So now spin the 10 cents on red. And unfortunately, I lost. And so now I have to basically go back into the process again of adding. I just lost. Remember, when you lose, you have to add another coin on, right? So now I have to bet that. And I lost again, right? So now I've got to add a coin again. Now, when you win, you need to pay attention to, the goal. The goal is $39.10. I'm just trying to make 10 cents. So again, I just won. So I should be going down to 20 cents, but I'm only 10 cents away from the goal. So no, I'm not going to bet 20. I'm just going to bet 10 because I'm only 10 cents away. Right? So I'll bet 10 cents and there you go. Right? Now I have $39.10. I've reached the goal, so it's complete. Right? The Dalembert is complete. Dalembert, I believe it's pronounced. All right. So Dalembert is complete. Right? I earned 1 unit. Now again, just want to recap that when I was first showing the Dalembert process, I was ignoring the goal, and so it might have gone, longer than what was necessary. But for long-term play, what you can do is you can start over. In fact, what happens is once you complete it, once you make your goal, you start over from scratch, which is what? Betting 10 cents. Now, something else I want to talk about here, and I wanted to just get the basics of the strategy out for this video, but I do want to explore a few other things that I do that I'm sure lots of other people do. Because roulette is a game where a lot of people do. There are a lot of different things that people do, and many people do the same things. You can pick up, learn these things on YouTube. You can see it in the casino, or if you have friends who bet. There are tons of things that strategies and different things that you can do when you take a strategy and you do something a little different, right? So one thing you can do a little differently is okay. So for one, the norm is that people will tell you to keep betting on the same thing, like keep betting red, right? As it loses, and what will happen is there are times when you're just going to get a lot of black. You can have 20 black in a row. It's unlikely, but it could happen. You could get 10 black. You could get 12 black in a row, right? I've seen that, or 12 reds. So if you're betting red, you could lose. You could very easily end up, although that can happen even if you're not just betting one thing. But the point is that if you keep betting the same thing for a long enough period of time, there's going to be times when you just begin to lose constantly. All right. So one thing you can do that's a little different is you can move between these the boxes, the traits. So you could do like 10 cents red. Okay, and then I won. Right? And then you could say, all right, I'll do 10 cents black. But I lost. Right? Okay, and then, you could do 10 cents red again. So you could go back and forth if you wanted to. Now you'll do 20 cents red. Now, okay, fine. And again, I didn't really think about the goal and all that. At that moment, I was just focusing on this part. But here's the thing. So it is true, though, that if you do red, black, back and forth, you can also lose after a while. You could also begin to lose even betting red and black back and forth. It could still happen. But the thing is that certainly, if you keep betting red all day for 2, 3, 4 days, right? And depending on the how much betting you do, you're going to suffer some long periods of a long period of loss on red, and also a long period of wins as well. Same thing if you just stick with black and just play black all day, right? Same thing if you play odd, 19 to 36, even 1 to 18, any of these, right? So mixing it up is just kind of a way of maybe avoiding just a particular trend, of losing. So that's the idea behind that. So that's basically it for this video. I have a time limit. I'll see you in another one.